Hi, 4th grade. We are getting ready to read chapter 7 of There's an Owl in the Shower. We left off yesterday with Borden and Leon setting mouse traps out in the field to try to catch mice for Barty, the little owlet that it seems like they're going to try to take care of, even though they still say that they're going to kill it later. But we'll see. Leon says he's going to kill it later. Borden doesn't think it should be killed because it's a barred owl, not a spotted owl. Okay, here we go. Chapter 7, A Mouse Tail Message. Upon arriving home from the riverside field, Borden pushed back the plywood cover on the owl box and peered in. He sighed with relief. Oh, Barty was still alive. Leon leaned over his shoulder. The owlet saw him, fluttered his wings, and called hungrily. Borden dropped a mouse at his feet. That ought to hush him up, he said. It did not, so Leon dropped the other one. They waited, but Barty did not eat. He just looked at the mice and then looked up at Leon. His black eyes concentrated on Leon's. He cried for food. Why isn't he eating? Borden asked. Put the cover on, said Leon. Owls eat in the dark, so Borden did. The phone rang. It was Jimmy Olden asking him to work for him at the gas station for a few hours. His mother wanted him to babysit. Sure, Borden answered, and hung up. Tell Mom I'll be home late, he said, putting on his slicker as he ran out the door. I'm working for Jimmy. That night, around midnight, Leon awoke. He put on his bathrobe and went quietly into the kitchen. He lifted the plywood cover. Barty stared up at him. Still alive, he said sternly. Good. The two mice lay untouched at his feet. Why don't you eat? He asked. You can't die on me, you know. He picked up a mouse and dangled it, tail down, before Barty. Barty looked at Leon, fluttered his wings, and begged. What are you trying to tell me? Leon asked, kneeling by the box. Am I doing something wrong? The owlet reached up and nibbled the mouse's tail. He closed his eyes. Want the tail? Okay. He cut it off with his penknife and held it out before Barty. The owl took it in his beak and swallowed it. Good, he said. Now eat the rest of it. Barty took the mouse in his beak, but did not swallow it. Eat, Leon said, and went back to bed. In the morning, he rose before the others and opened the owl box. Borden, he called, come here. The owl's dying. It was Sally who arrived first. What owl? Barty, said her father, pointing. Oh, Pop, she exclaimed, dropping to her knees. He's adorable. She pushed back her red stringy curls. What's wrong with him? Won't eat. Who won't eat? Asked Cindy, Leon's wife, stepping into the kitchen. She had come home late last night and had not seen the owl box in the kitchen. An owlet, said Sally. Let me see it. Cindy got down on all fours and peered at the bird. Why, he's only a baby, she exclaimed. He needs baby bites. Yeah, said Leon. I guess that's what he was trying to tell me when he nibbled on the tail. He wants little pieces. What kind of an owl is this? Asked Sally suspiciously. Barred owl, said Leon. Barred owl, said Cindy. Are you sure? Of course I am, Leon replied. I haven't been in the forests all my life not to know a barred owl when I see one. Are you really sure? Of course he is, said Sally. Pop knows owls, for goodness sake. Leon took one of the mice outside to the woodpile and chopped it into little pieces. He was going to tell the kids they would have to take care of the owlet if they wanted to keep it, but when he returned, Cindy was in the shower, Sally was washing pans, and Borden was still in bed. No one, he saw, was going to keep this owl alive but him. He knelt by the box and held out a morsel to Barty. Barty swallowed it with 2 thrusts of his head, closing his eyes as he did so. "Hey, he's eating," Leon shouted. No one cheered, so he gave Barty another bite, and another. Soon the mouse was gone, and the second mouse was gone too. "Wow, you ate 2 whole mice," he said to the owl. Barty's breast puffed out where the good food lay in his crop, the storage compartment in the throat of a bird. He fluttered his wings and looked at Leon's face. "More?" he asked. "You're crazy. That's all you get." And he went off to shower and dress. When he returned, Borden and Sally were at the kitchen table eating breakfast cereal. I'm going to show a quick picture of Leon feeding Barty little chunks of mouse. There he is. Such a cute little bird. "Hey, Pop," Borden said, looking him over. "How come you got your hickory on? You shouldn't be in your work shirt today. It's Sunday." "I'm going to the Riverside Field," he answered. "Oh," said Borden, who had gotten home late and fallen into bed. He had not thought about the owlet until this moment. "How's Barty doing?" I think he's dying," said Leon, picking up the sack of traps, "and I'm going to see to it that he lives until the court hearing, after which I'll wring his neck." "Maybe you're not feeding him enough," said Sally. "Mr. James said barred owlets need big food, flying squirrels, gophers, rats, and lots of them." "What were you talking to him for?" Leon snapped. "I wasn't," said Sally. I took his course, remember?" "He came by the station yesterday," said Borden. "He wanted me to tell you he didn't mean to hit you, and that he had a summons, too." "Good," Leon smiled. "I asked him how much food owlets need." "Why did you do that?" "You want the owl to live, don't you?" Borden snapped. "What did he say?" "He said he needs 9 or 10 mice a day." 9 or 10 a day?" roared Leon. "Ugh, he's not worth the effort." "Better than paying a fine, isn't it?" "Well, how do I know that the judge will care?" "Well, don't feed him then," Sally said. She picked up the fuzzy bird and hugged him to her. "Wow, he's weak as jelly." Barty felt the warmth of Sally's body and snuggled against her. He rolled under his sharp claws so he wouldn't injure her, just as his mother had done when she came into the nest. Leon observed this without comment. Then he put on his slicker and went out into the pouring rain. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do chapter 8. Chapter 8 is called 2 Night Owls. Leon caught only 1 mouse on Sunday. It was raining hard, and the mice were in their burrows chewing on roots. That night, he waited until everyone had gone to bed. Then he set traps inside the house. He hoped a mouse or 2 might have come in to get out of the rain. A sharp snap woke him up at 2 o'clock in the morning. He slid out of bed and tiptoed to the kitchen. A young wood rat was in the trap under the sink. He chopped it into delicate bites, lifted Barty out of the box, and placed him on the kitchen table. The owlet sunk onto his heels and drooped his downy head. "Oh boy, you don't look so good," Leon said. "Come on, little fellow. You can't die on me. I'm depending on you. Gotta make the nature lovers see that cutters aren't all bad." Leon lifted Barty's head, opened his beak, and forced a morsel into his mouth. Barty did not swallow. Leon stroked the slender throat, and the food slid down. For 2 hours, he force-fed the little owlet, and with each bite, Barty grew more alert. "You're a good fellow," Leon said when the last bite was gone, and Barty was perky enough to lift his head and focus on Leon's face. He fluttered his wings and begged for more food. "I haven't got any more," Leon said helplessly. Then he looked at the refrigerator. "Chicken," he said. "Cindy bought a chicken today." Leon cut up 1 chicken thigh, and when it was eaten, Barty stopped begging. Leon rested his arms on the table and stared at the otherworldly creature, the elfin owl from the giant trees. "You're shivering," he said, and glanced around nervously. Hearing no one else awake, he picked up Barty. "You stopped shaking when Sally cuddled you," he said, tucking the owlet in the crick of his arm. Barty made soft noises and snuggled against the sleeve of Leon's terry cloth robe. Must be, he said almost gently, that you still need your mother. Well, I'll just take her place for a little while. No one can see us, and it might just keep you alive. He was embarrassed by this tender sentiment and added quickly, until the hearing, of course. Leon took Barty into the living room, turned the TV low, and sat down on the couch. The owlet pushed himself deeper into his warm arms and stopped shivering. He closed his eyes. They were both asleep when the sun came up. Leon awoke with a start and hastily returned the owlet to his box. I want to show you the picture of Leon and Barty snuggling on the couch, and he didn't want anyone to see. Little cuties. There they are. Okay. He did not want anyone to catch him hugging an owl, especially one whose neck he was going to wring in a few days. And he was going to wring his neck. By the misty light of dawn, he felt in charge of his destiny again. No owlet was going to run him. The rain let up the next day, and Leon and Borden walked to the riverside field as the sun was coming up. Very quickly, they trapped 3 mice in 7 bowls. Leon had brought his fishing rod this morning. The half-pounders, young steelhead salmon that came up the rivers and streams this time of year, had been the great fish of Leon's boyhood. They swam through the water in silver streams, and he had caught them in silver streams, one right after another. But he had not seen any since he had been coming to the riverside field, and he wondered about them. Borden picked up his pack to head off for school. Borden, Leon said, threading his line through the eyelets on the rod. You have a minute? I'm worried about Barty. What's wrong? Those furry balls that he spits out every day. Have you seen them? Yeah, you can't miss them, Borden answered. What's wrong with that? Do you think he has some kind of disease? Nah, Borden answered. He hates fur just like I hate liver, so we spit him out. Yeah, I bet that's it. Maybe I should peel the mice. Leon pulled out the line and fastened a lure to it. Oh, come on, Pop, Borden said. Barty knows what he's doing. I guess so, but he was not convinced. Well, find out about it, will ya? How do you want me to find out about it, Dad? Well, you could ask Sally to ask that teacher. Borden stared at his father. He was really hooked on Barty. He waved and trotted down the trail. If Barty was ill, as his pop had suggested, they might have to take him to a vet. Borden resolved to find out about the fur balls. That night, Borden awoke Leon around 2 a.m. Hey, Pop, he whispered. I dreamed that Barty died. I don't dream stuff like that unless it's true. Come with me and check on him, will you? Tiptoeing down the hall, Leon and Borden hesitated before Borden flicked on the kitchen light. Leon opened the owl box. Barty turned his black eyes upon him and stood up. Hi, Leon said and grinned. He looks alive to me. But he doesn't look healthy, said Borden, glad that his nightmare was not true. He's shedding his baby feathers, said Leon, catching a wisp of down. Leon lifted Barty from his box, put him on the kitchen table, and sat down. His arm rested on the table. Barty stumbled over to him and weakly climbed onto it. He stared devotedly at his rumpled mother. I'm still gonna wring your neck, Leon said and chuckled. But right now you have to live. Barty gazed at him as if he were waiting for something. What does he want? Leon asked Borden. Maybe he's bored, said Borden. He's a night owl and there's nothing for him to do here at night except watch TV. How about a little TV, Barty? Leon said and got up to his feet. Barty walked up his arm to his shoulder. That's what he wants, Leon said. He wants a little action in his life. He gingerly stepped into the living room with Barty on his shoulder. He stopped at the mirror. "Hey, Borden," he said, looking at the reflection. "Barty's a show, sitting on my shoulder like that. I'm going to take him to court with me, and the judge will say, 'Oh, look at that cute little owl,' and then he'll tear up the fine that I'm supposed to pay." "All right, Pop, I'm going back to bed now," Borden said. "I'm tired." "Go on," Leon answered. "I'll just sit here a minute. I'm not tired." He was smiling. At 5:30 a.m., Leon was awakened by Barty, who was gently rubbing his beak against his ear. Startled, Leon got to his feet. "Thanks for waking me," he said. He listened to the house. No one was up. He went into the kitchen to put the owlet back in his box, but Barty had other ideas. He dug his talons into Leon's bathrobe and would not let go. "Oh, come on," Leon whispered as he tried to take him off his shoulder. Barty clung more tightly. Finally, Leon lifted each talon and tucked it under the foot, and then holding Barty's feet in his big hand, he lowered him into the box. "Well, you must be feeling better, 'cause you're talking to me again," he said. "You're telling me that you need a perch. You are getting older." He scratched his beard. "I guess it's time to get you out of the nest and into the forest." The owlet gave Leon another penetrating look. This time, Leon thought Barty must be memorizing his face. He stared at him so deeply. He rubbed his scraggly beard. He was not a very pretty thing to memorize. "But wait till the judge sees you look at me like that," he said. "He'll put that teacher in jail and set me free." He chuckled, covered the box, and then briefly uncovered it. "And by the way, Barty," he said, "while you're sleeping today, I'm going to the coastal forest to cut a root sprout from a redwood stump. I'm going to make you a beautiful perch. From the way you gripped my arm, you're ready for one. Maybe Borden will help me." He smiled, glad for the privacy of darkness, then tiptoed off to bed. All right, 4th grade, that was the end of chapter 8. If you're watching the video, we'll see you tomorrow for chapter 9. Bye.